Hey everyone and welcome. My name's Carlo Libertini and thanks for hanging with me today. I'm super excited. Why? Because we're going to deep dive and dig into this new plugin from Universal Audio. Yes, they've answered a lot of prayers for a lot of people. They've basically taken their famous hardware pedal, the Ruby 63 Top Boost Amplifier, and now given us a plugin version, which in every intents and purposes sounds just as amazing. But being a plugin, you have a lot of flexibility with your production techniques and methods to really elevate your mixes and bring the British invasion to your songs today. So why don't we dive right in? I created a session for us here, and what we'll do is we're going to listen to all the guitars were recorded directly into my audio interface and processed through the new Ruby 63 Top Boost plugin that we're seeing here. Really flexible, really powerful, and I can't wait to share this with you. But why? What is it about the Vox AC30 that has really defined itself as a rock and roll amplifier or jazz or country or you name it? I think there's something about the tone. Yes, it's a little complex and people say it's chimey, but there's something nice about the mid-range that I believe really tremendously contributes to its value. Why? Because it's the easiest amp I've ever had to work with to dial in a tone that really cuts through a mix every time. And there's no when you talk about artists like the Beatles and the Rolling Stones and the Yardbirds, Jimmy Page, Queen, U2, Radiohead, Tom Petty, even Noel Gallagher from Oasis, they're all using the AC30 amplifiers. And now you have it here in this beautiful and easy to use package, this plugin on your desktop at any time. So let's dive right in. Let's take a listen to what I've created here for us to dive into. And all the guitars and even the bass was recorded through this plugin. Now the opening riff you heard was recorded through the default setting here, the Ruby 63 Top Boost. When you open the plugin for the first time, this is the tone you get. Classic. Great rock tone, a lot of clarity. What I love about all the products from Universal Audio is the detail. These are top quality plugins every time. Listen to that as the audio trails out. I've recorded a lot of guitar amplifiers and I always listen for the decay. That to me, if you told me, was a real amplifier in a real studio, in a real room with a real mic, I wouldn't even question it. Again, UA, it's all quality every time. That sounded amazing. All right, so what did I do here? I've got 2 tracks of guitar here. And let me solo these. These are the opening guitars. What I did is I recorded one track and I duplicated it and added the plugin on each one slightly different. One I used vibrato. Let's take a listen. So we're hearing 2 versions of this amplifier with different settings. You can see that looking at the interface now, let's walk our way through this. You've got the vibrato tremolo, and you can select the different settings here by choosing the input jack, normal, and a brilliant mode where you have more tonality choices here. So that's controlling the input of the amplifier. On this section, we have the microphone and the speaker output. Green, blue mod, match, gold, and direct. And silver. Now, these are all like painstakingly crafted and they sound amazing. The blue one, I believe, was the original Jensen Alnico speaker right here, which you get with the traditional SM57. And the next one would be the greenback, which they also switched to later on. And then the blue modification one, again, probably a Jensen Alnico mod. And then obviously match in gold and a direct signal, which I'm actually using on the bass guitar, which I'll show you in a moment. So you have a lot of flexibility here with choosing the different tonality to get started. Or in other words, creating your personal Vox AC30 for your recording, for your needs. You got an input level here. And another thing I love is this room tone. Yes, you can actually add some room tone. And what I mean by this, it's like you ever walk into a really like any room environment, and someone's playing through a great amp and it just sounds good. Well, you're also hearing the room around it. We can bring in some of that natural room tone here, I'll say, and blend it in, as opposed to maybe having to run it through a reverb. This is a great option to bring in more of that natural feel of the human experience of listening to this amplifier. And again, it's right here at the top, called room. And then our output. Now at the bottom, we have obviously our settings. As I said before, the tremolo, you can adjust that there, the tone, the speed, and here we go, the vibrato right there. Then normal, it's like plugging directly in. You've got the cut. Now you have to remember, I think when you, with the tone with the AC30, if you cut it, you're boosting highs. If you're raising it, you're bringing in more lows. You'll find out. And then of course you can turn it on and off. I love the interface. It's really, really neat. And they also come with a plethora of beautifully, beautifully crafted presets. Now the preset manager here is super intuitive. And now I often use presets quite a bit to jumpstart my creativity. Why? Because it exposes me to thinking out of the box sometimes. You know, as a studio engineer and a guitar player, you know, sometimes you get stuck in your favorites. You want to continue to grow and expose yourself. Well, these plugins will do just that. Now, you can run through them in real time, and let's do that. Why don't we go to our, yes, this one right here. I'll put it up in the middle, and let's take a listen to this. All right. And we'll run through some plugins here. Now, again, this, what you're hearing right now is the default preset. And if you didn't think a Vox could rock, you are wrong. Doesn't that sound amazing? I like that version. I like that plugin a lot. This plugin is fantastic. Bright chimes. Let's go back to that Booty Silver. Nice. Okay, so it's also categorized for us. You've got rhythm styles, roomy, crunch. They're all here, and you can populate them by selecting them as easy as this. If you just want to work with the crunch ones, there they are. But it's not a limitation. You can create and save, obviously, your own preset tones, which I always encourage, and you can tag them here as well and mark them as favorites. This is a great place to start again to help jumpstart your creativity. For example, if you wanted let's say a roomy tone, select it, and then run through some of these. Here we have one called a lead drive. And you can see with these presets, there's a lot of the room added here in the dial that I was pointing out to you earlier. This is a nice sound. You know what? I'm going to leave that one on there. I'm going to pan it to my left a little bit, and let's bring in the other side. This is the one with the tremolo on it. Nope, this is all around great guy. Yeah, there we go. Let's bring them both in. And here they blend really nicely. Bring the drums in. Again, all this goes back to what I initially said about how easy it is to dial in these amplifiers and get great tones. Keeps you in a real creative zen in your headspace, because when you have to stop and think and stress out about something, you're no longer being creative. This plugin by UA, the Top Boost Amplifier 63, is so fun to work with. that it will inspire you. I believe that. I know that when you get a certain kind of tone in a guitar and you feel good about it, often brings forth creativity. It happens all the time in the studio. That's what we're here for. And this plugin excels at that. Let's run through a couple of these mic examples here. Let's go to this one. I will bring it in the middle again, and let's just hear some of the different cabinets. Here's direct, silver, next one. They all have a definitive characteristic. Here's the next one. Greenback. Very definitive. Here's the next one. The blue mod. And when you're working with plugins like this by UA, what happens is you're able to dial an amp tone in the mix in real time. Now, often you might think to yourself, well, let me do some post-production here. Maybe it needs some certain kind of EQ to get the tone. Well, I believe that when you can get the tone from the amplifier, in this case, the plug-in version of the amplifier, your mixing will be a lot more creative afterwards. You're not going to be trying to fix it in the mix. You're going to use your plugins more creatively, your EQs more creatively and less correctively. So being able to dial in a great tone as easy as this, and then going back and tweaking it as your mixes evolve, is crucial in today's, workflow environment. And of course, thanks to Universal Audio. And again, I just have been having so much fun with this plugin. I'm sure it shows. Let's move on to the mix a little bit here. And when we kick in a little bit, we've got some electric guitars. I get some bass happening. And a lot of these I started with presets. They're just fantastic. They sound great. They really do. Now let's switch this up a little bit. In this case, the greenback speaker wasn't really cutting through. Here it is. Doesn't mean it's bad, but let me switch back to the blue Alnico here with the SM57. There it is. And I can back down the room tone a little bit if I wanted. Love it. Now, I am further processing this a little bit with more UA plugins. As you can see, just so you know, I have the UA, the Galaxy Tape Echo going there on the guitar solos, and the UA Hitsville. A little bit of acoustic guitar chamber for us. And again, these are all Universal Audio plugins. Okay, I do have a little bit limiting just for the making the YouTube video for us, this video for us. And that's it. I mean, it's really that great. Now let's go on to the chimey bit here. Let's see. Track number 7. There's a little bit of rhythm work. Now let's bring the volume up on this. Because as we mentioned earlier, yeah, Vox amplifiers are famous for being chimey, but they're a lot more than that. Take a listen to this. We're using a preset called 62 Flat Wounds in the Casino. Let's bring in the bass. So in this example, I'm showing you a variety of tones that we can literally get from this one plugin and this one amplifier. So the variety of tones that a Vox amplifier can give you might surprise you. Because as we were running through some of the presets earlier, you heard the variety, and that was just a small amount of presets. There are so many more to help jumpstart your creativity. So yes, is it chimey? Of course. Does it have beautiful musical mid-range? Absolutely. Can you choose from a variety of speaker versions? Yes, you can do that. And you can even add the room tone, and there's a lot more. So definitely visit Universal Audio for more information, or just see the description below. And also, don't forget to like and subscribe. We work really hard here to bring you the latest and the best in audio production plugins. So become part of our family today. Just like and subscribe, doesn't cost anything, and you will get access to over 1,000 pro audio tutorials. We produce these dailies for you. So dive right in and have fun. Okay, back to what we're doing here. What you may not realize is that also, I say there's no rules and no rights when it comes to audio production. Yeah, fundamentally, there might be a couple of good things to follow, but I know for a fact that the Vox amplifiers were often sometimes used, the guitar amplifiers, as bass amplifiers. So what I did in this case is I ran it into a direct version, and let's bring our bass guitar in. Now I am going direct. Because I liked it. And of course, now we could run it through a couple of the virtual caps. Doesn't that sound great? Blue, green. Let's go back to direct. And now let's tweak the tone a little bit. A little sharper, a little brighter. You bring it to the left. And let's add some body. Yes, it's not going to give you a lot of low end, but it is something that will cut through the mix, which is what Vox amps are, again, famous for, in my opinion. Easy to dial in, and it could also blend well with a amplifier tone that you record, let's say through a microphone, or your favorite UA pedals. So having the availability, I just plugged a bass in there, I fired it up, and I liked it, and it really did work for me, surprisingly. Unsurprisingly, I should say. I love how the bass is just cutting through right there. You can hear the chiminess jangling through. Some body from the amp. And again, that high quality detail that goes into every UA plugin. The amplifier decay, there's no gates, nothing. It just rings out and decays so naturally that I am so convinced that this is just the most accurate, amp plugin I've used in a very long time. So keep in mind, obviously, it's taking that famous Ruby top Boost Amplifier 63 pedal, and now you can get all of those features in the plugin version, which allows you to have it on multiple tracks. You can also automate this plugin. You get access to all those presets and more. And I really do feel that the tone of this plugin can really inspire you to just create more and have fun, because that's what audio production should be. It should be something you always enjoy doing. And tools like this from Universal Audio, the Top Boost 63 Ruby here, will do just that and more. So again, don't forget to like and subscribe, become part of our family today, and thanks for watching.